Hi guys, welcome to the Watch Hobbyist channel. So today I've got for you the Mark II Kingston. This is a watch by a manufacturer that's quite small in America, and back in 2010, this video is now in 2016, they produced a limited run of original Submariner-esque watches called the Kingston range. So there are only 300 ever made, and this is actually, don't forget that the original subs are sort of related to the James Bond movies, and that's what they're best known for, probably, originally. And this is actually number 007007 of 300, so really special. And the reason why it's really special to me is because a week or so ago I actually won this in a charity raffle on a watch forum. So I never have that luck. I have won a couple of things in the past, but I must have entered sort of 30 or 40 charity raffles over the past few years, hoping to win sort of big, and never really doing it. But you know, it's nice if you do, obviously, and this was probably, of all the watches I could have won over the past few years, this is the one that I actually really wanted to, because it's a watch that I really wanted, and that's really, you know, obviously a bonus. But the reason I wanted this watch is because I've always liked James Bond. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't, but I do. Always like the accessories, the crazy watches, the ones that saw through things, and you know, they're all just props, but it's part of the whole film and the whole franchise. So anything that can resemble that sort of Submariner look is always of interest. So I do have, as you'll have seen in my other videos, the Tudor Black Bay Black, which has the red triangle at the top and the big crown as well, to sort of resemble the original Submariners. They don't advertise it as that fact, but it clearly does. And this is one of the few other watches out there that does actually resemble the original subs, apart from the actual real thing. Now I looked at the real thing a while back, and I was very tempted to sort of get something not high-end, but I found a nice example. I forget which particular model it was, but it wasn't the 6538, which is the main one. You can look that up online, but it was of a similar sort of ilk, and I found the perfect one. And then I found out that the Luminescence is actually radium, and I just didn't fancy that being so close to my skin and my wrist. Not really something that interests me, to be honest, having sort of radioactive substances of that sort in my on a watch. So it really put me off. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. Whether, you know, I mean, I'm just very naive to any of that sort of stuff. I don't know how bad it is, or if it's not bad at all. You know, there must be certain strengths to that you can withstand, but I just don't think that I'd want that particularly. I think it'd make me wear the watch less. So I gave up on the idea, and I was pretty gutted at the time, because I really did want to go for something like that. But you know, if this has to be the next best thing, then that's fine by me. First of all, I won it, so it's not cost me anything. Really, well, it's cost me some charity money. But secondly, you know, I think they actually, modern watches improve in some ways on the original watches, so it's just an homage to that watch. So you have the Super Luminova, which is not radioactive, but it's very effective. And this watch actually features an ETA movement. It's a 2836-2, so a very good movement. It's then, I think, been modified by Kingston, although you can't actually see it because it's a solid case back. But the nice thing about the case back on this watch is it's actually mirror polished as well, whereas the actual subs and watches like that tend to be brushed. Although I can't quite remember, I think that maybe the original subs are a bit different to modern day ones, but it's just a really, really nice piece. So the great thing about it is, like I say, limited edition. This is number 007, but the other thing as well is the package that you get with it is like nothing I've ever seen on any other watch. First of all, I'll just move the watch down there. So what you get is two watches in one, basically. So we have this whole extra case and bracelet, which I'll just try and get to focus. Sorry, it's really struggling with the light, because actually my main lighting has run out of battery today. So you'll just have to bear with me, because the camera is actually struggling to focus. So there we go. So we've got this case here, which has like a red lume pip like the original subs, which is fine. And then you know, so you would want that obviously on a homage to the original subs. And then you've also got a riveted bracelet, and not only one of those, but you get two of those. So the end links are in the box actually at the minute, because this is when the watch arrived, this is what it actually came on, was this riveted bracelet. So it actually has screw heads, one at each side, and unfortunately the only thing is it's quite awkward to adjust, so you have to use sort of 2 screwdrivers to maybe put it in a vise, unscrew them, and I just in the end I couldn't be bothered. So I stuck the watch on this Nato that you see here, which I'd picked up actually fortuitously the day before quite cheaply. So that's the extra case and bracelet and the original bracelet. Then you get this Nato, which I believe from past sort of research, this is the actual original colouring of the original Bond Nato. So rather than the black and grey which you quite often see, I think this is more likely to be the actual original colours. But I'm not 100%, don't quote me on that, but when I did read up on it a while back, they said that this was the actual colouring that's correct, or along these lines anyway. So that's that, so you get the Nato. And then you get extra gaskets. So I think you've got a gasket for the crystal and a gasket for the case back as well, which is a screw down case back. Then we have the sort of ratchet system for the bezel. It's a 60-click bezel on these watches, by the way, and this is what gives the bezel its click. So I'll show you here if so you can hear that. That's the bezel, and it's click. So that's how that works. So that extra system there is if there was any damage to the bezel, you've got a spare. So brilliant, that's great. You can send it to your local watchmaker, or if you're handy, do it yourself. In here, it doesn't say what's on it, but I have a sneaky suspicion that this is actually another dial, because I can see 2 sort of prongs here, which is reminiscent of what you would expect to see on a dial. So I don't know if it's exactly the same dial. I should have really looked into that, but I've actually not gone through this box on purpose because I wanted to do it during the review, and then, you know, there's some surprise to it for me as well. So that might be another dial, I'm not too sure. Got the end links from that bracelet, which I'll just try and get to focus. So there's the end links, so they're a brushed affair to go with the brush bracelet. Nice and curved and well made. Feel that they're solid as well. There's no hollowness to them apart from the holes for the spring bars. So that's that. And then we have the original links which I took out of the bracelet, and some extra pins, spring sort of pins within here. You can't really see, but they're inside there. And I think there's even a tool. If I just try and no, it's not really shown, but this is just basically a regular sort of spring bar tool. It's got the pins at one end and the push piece at the other end, sort of thing. So you know, that's great. And then best of all, you get this little box, which is a really tough sort of box, and it allows you to carry 3 watches. You know, so if you're traveling, this is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to be making hopefully a trip to Bezel World this year. No doubt I'll probably take this with me because it's really useful. So it's less likely to damage your watches, and it's going to protect it. So you know, great idea. And those usually cost quite a bit of money, things like that. So this is not just a watch, it's a whole package. And I think, you know, that's really interesting, because you can go and you can spend 10, 20 times the price of a watch compared to this one, and not get anything like this sort of stuff. You'll get a nice box, and then that'll go in your cupboard, and you'll get a nice you know, instruction manual which you'll never use and things like that. But there's no sort of real thought. It's just there's a design company for the box, there's a design company for the watch, and they never seem to gel, whereas this all seems to go together. And it's a really clever idea. I've never actually seen it before. There are other watch brands that do this, but they tend to be the smaller brands, and I don't think that's how it should be. You do see sort of Omega with the Speedmaster range now. If you buy the Speedmaster, you get it in a huge box. It's about probably 5 times the size of what you see here, and it comes with a loop, and it comes with a strap change tool, and it comes with a large NASA type Nato and things like that. But actually, to offer that, they put the price up by about £300 here in the UK last year or so. So it's as if you're paying for that stuff, you know, whereas with this just comes with it. I'm not sure of the original price, but I'm sure it was a lot less money than the Speedmaster. So, you know, really pleased with the whole package. The watch itself, to give you some technical specs, I've told you it's got the 2836-2 ETA movement, so you've got that. 39.2mm diameter, so not too large, you know, around about the same as an original sub. So again, nice homage feature for that. You've got the length, which is sort of the lug to lug here. Now I have a 6.75 inch wrist, and the lug to lug is actually, let me see here, just under 48mm. I'm going off the manufacturer's specs here, so just under 48 mils. So, you know, not too large at all. I'll show you on my wrist so it gives you an idea of how it actually looks. Okay, so there's the watch on my wrist. So remember, under 7 inches my wrist. And it's just right, you know, it's not too long at all. I can generally sort of manage about a 50mm maximum lug to lug for most watches, so this just fits nicely. The Nato actually makes it look bigger than it is, but the good thing is that it doesn't have a lot of height to this watch. So there's the height of the watch, so you can see there's really not too much height at all. So you have the case back, you have the double dome crystal is what they call it, and I think that actually has an anti-reflective coating as well. And the height is officially 14.5mm, so not too tall at all. You know, quite regular for sort of a dive watch of 200 meters water resistance like this has. It has satin finishing to the top of the lugs and the underside of the lugs, but then you have a mirror polish to the case back and the sides of the watch, and to the side of the crown, of course, as well. You have push pins in, you know, for removing the strap, which is a nice feature for this type of watch because it's very authentic in its type. You know, that's what the original subs had. So you will poke a spring bar through one end, move the strap down, do it through the other end, and just pop it out. Dead easy, dead quick, nice and simple. So a nice authentic feature. And the bezel has 60 clicks, as I said before. Triple gasket screw down crown, so very much like the trip lock system of the Submariners. Now don't quote me, but certainly the Submariners that have that, the trip lock, are designed that if you forget to wind the crown, screw the crown down, then you can actually still go underwater. I don't know if that's the case with this, but it does have the same sort of mechanism apparently. One weird little thing which they probably could have eliminated is that if you pull the crown to the first point, that would normally be where the date is, and you can just sort of spin that freely, does absolutely nothing. So there is still that date click point there, and then you pull it to the second point, and now you can adjust the time. So, you know, a little bit odd that they've still kept that, but I have seen that before, it's not unusual. You know, but it's a shame that they didn't do that because it's probably the only thing. It winds nice and easy because you've got the nice big crown. And the luminescence on this is super luminova, it's C3, and it's designed to last for a minimum at a full charge of 7 hours. So sort of really, you know, quite good lume. It glows sort of a bluey sort of colour as well. So the Tudor, which I have, actually glows green, and I don't know, I think I've become accustomed to sort of this coloured lume, like the blue lume, and I don't sort of appreciate the green lume as much as I used to. So the fact that this is sort of a bluey colour actually really adds to the watch as well. You know, so the Tudor is lovely. I really love the Tudor, don't get me wrong, but one thing I did hope for was a blue lume, and with this watch I've got it. So this watch is a little bit thinner than the Tudor, but overall they're very similar. So, you know, really fortuitous thing to sort of get my hands on. I'm really pleased to have it. I really do like the watch. I like the whole package, like I say, you know, that you get with it, and I think more manufacturers could learn from that type of thing. And for us to be 6 years on from this and still not really seeing that is quite surprising, really, when you think about it. Because we all like value for money, and that's what we should be getting. And especially in a market now where sort of the watch world is slowing down a little bit as well. I don't think it'd be harmful for watch companies to sort of give us more than just a watch. You know, I think that should become a thing. So anyway, that's my sort of look and take on the Kingston Mark II watch. I hope you've enjoyed the review, and if you have any comments, please leave them, and by all means give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't like it, but if you do leave a thumbs down, make sure you tell me where I'm going wrong, because I'm trying to bring sort of the best quality videos to you if possible, so you know, I can then try and improve. And you know, keep subscribing to the channel as well, because that's the main thing. If you subscribe, you'll get notified when I bring out a new video, and then you can see more of the watches I review. Thanks, and have a great day.